The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I think she's got it.
If you're looking at anything when the sun is shining, it looks more attractive. If you're looking at something when it's raining,
Sean Woolley, Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain, here today to give us a market update, beginning of April. So what's happening on the market since we last spoke?
What's happening? Well, do you know what? It's been a bit of a strange start to the year for personal reasons, really, because I've had COVID, my partner's been ill, so I don't feel like I've really started the year yet. It's been a bit strange. It's kind of been stop, start, and then of course now we've had this weather for the last couple of weeks, which is very un-Costa del Sol-like. So I don't know if any listeners or viewers have heard about it, but we had this strange phenomenon. What's it called? Like Calima,
yes.
Calima, which is where the dust and the sand from the Sahara blows across us and then falls on us as muddy rain. And normally it's mainly dust, isn't it? And it just gets blown away and swept away and washed away.
Yeah, you get your car washed and that's job done, isn't it, normally? Yeah.
But this stuff kind of stuck, didn't it? So everyone, I was in Corte Inglés the other day in the DIY section, and there was a queue of people queuing up to buy, the Karcher
pressure washers.
The pressure washers, yeah, and all the washing solutions. It was funny because of course I have a Karcher. I didn't buy one. I inherited one. Then I didn't have a clue how to use it. But I spent last weekend, jet washing with my new best friend, the Karcher. Yeah, and that was an experience. But the good news is, if I don't make it in real estate, then I can always just wash cars because I'm a dab hand now at washing anything that's just isn't bolted to the ground. I'm fantastic. I can wash anything and make anything look white.
How many days sunshine do we say that there are a year here in the Costa del Sol?
Well, the one I've always used as a soundbite is 320 days, which I kind of feels about right, because what happens in Spain, and I always say this to my clients, they always say, when does it rain in Spain? When's the crummy weather? And I always say March and April. And then people go, no, it's not. March and April's lovely. No, it's not. It's always around Easter. Because my sister used to come on holiday here in Easter, and she used to complain every time that, oh my God, I went for 2 weeks in the Costa del Sol, it poured down with rain, and I went home and summer began. And she's absolutely right. March, April are the wet and windy times. The winters I love because, it tends to be a bit cooler, but normally it's not, torrential rain, anything like that. It does make a huge difference to us though, because, as you can imagine, if you're looking at anything, it doesn't matter if it's a house or a car or a dog or whatever, if you're looking at anything when the sun is shining, it looks more attractive. If you're looking at something when it's raining, it doesn't have the same look. So, we do have clients who come over, and if they're here for the wrong week, it's enough to put them off sometimes. And then you think, I just wish you'd have seen it in the sunshine. And the sunshine is 80%, 90% of the time we're here. So it's such a shame. And of course we can't say, yeah, but imagine when the sun's out, because they're not seeing it. And it does affect our business. And we had actually, I think, the busiest week we've ever had in terms of tours about 2 weeks ago, and it just rained nonstop from like the Monday to the Friday. And I think we had 7 or 8 clients out at the same time, and I was just like, oh my God, of all the weeks to have them out. But life is life.
Coming back to the market then, away from the weather for a second, market's pretty much the same as it was last month.
Yeah, it is. We're noticing there's a few more Brits coming over, because I think, again, the skies have opened up, but I think they're feeling a lot more able and willing to travel. I think we're in line for a busy Easter and a busy summer now that people do feel that the shackles have come off and they can travel to Spain without really worrying about anything and without having to have all the old checks and balances in place. We're seeing a lot of footfall here, which is good. It's great to see, and lots of new businesses opening up and businesses doing very well. So it's all good news. Market wise, we're active across all levels of the market, I suppose. There's no great difference. Typical of the time of year, normally this is quite an active time for people to come over, particularly the people who combine a bit of house hunting with a bit of holidaying. They'll use the Easter break as a chance to unwind for a few days and also look at properties for a few days, because I still think the fundamentals of the effect of the pandemic are still there in terms of, we live in a scary world and people want safety, and they want the sunshine, and they want a better life if they can provide it for themselves and their families. And while those fundamentals still exist, then the Costa del Sol becomes a very attractive place to settle and to holiday.
That kind of backs up the research from the Spain's tourism ministry that was released the other day. They said that they're expecting volume of foreign visitors to Spain over the Easter period to be up to 80% of what it was pre-pandemic in 2019.
Wow!
So what you're saying is certainly looks like there's more of that to come.
Yeah, and Easter's a great time to visit Spain. I was brought up a Catholic. Spain is a Catholic country, but I'm not particularly religious. But if you're into those fantastic displays of religious fervor and devotion, then there is no better place to witness that than Easter time in Spain, with all the processions that they have, and they go to town. I mean, I really hope the weather improves, because it's extremely moving to see the dedication that the participants put into carrying what do they call them? Just the statues and the things around town, and it's quite a sight. So even if you're not religious, do take the opportunity, if you're here, to check out some of these processions and parades,
particularly in Malaga city itself.
They're
quite something. In terms of new developments, what's happening at the moment in that regard?
I think you've always got a pattern to this. So with new developments, you've generally got stuff that's being released, so sort of day zero, and then you've got stuff that's being built halfway through, and then you've got stuff that's being delivered. And that's complicated by, if you've got a development who is releasing various phases, then that obviously there's a general cycle to that. What we saw in the pandemic was a reluctance for developers to start new projects, of course, because they weren't getting the footfall. It wasn't the right time to launch a product here in the place it was being built. Now that has stopped, and now that people are able to travel, we're seeing more and more developers taking the plunge and releasing new developments or new phases of a development to market. So we have that balance back, where we have sufficient stock for people looking to invest off plan. We have stock that's available kind of mid-construction, and then we have stock available at the end. The problem, of course, with that scenario is that we have a lot of people who want to buy here in Spain for all the reasons I've mentioned earlier. Most people prefer something that's new and hasn't been lived in, because they can put their own stamp on it. They get all the best qualities and the best appliances. But of course, unless you're prepared to get in there on day one of a release and wait 2 years for it to be built, chances are, if you're trying to find that stock 2 weeks before completion, it ain't going to be available, because somebody's already snapped it up at the start. So there's always this issue with, if only that one was available. If only that one in phase one with that amazing sea view was available. And my answer to that is, well, it was 2 years ago. Where were you? And that may sound harsh, but then, if you want that unit or that block that was snapped up 2 years ago, you're going to have to wait for some resales to become available. And in a rising market, which this is, they're going to be more expensive than what the person paid when they took the plunge when it was off plan. And most people realize that. Most people understand that. It's a simple question of demand and supply, but we always want what we can't have or what other people have got. That's what I've learned in this business.
Okay, Sean, well, thank you very much for the update.
No problem.
And let's see how many days we got to count down from the sunshine between now and the next time we speak.
Thursday's the day, apparently. That's when summer starts.
Summer starts on Thursday. Okay, watch your space.
Honestly, it's happening.